on the iHeartRadio app, where you can stream us wherever you happen to be. Catch us in all of our Fox Sports Radio shows live 24/7 in the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Search Fox Sports Radio on the app to stream us live all day, every day. And be sure to select Fox Sports Radio as one of your presets in the iHeart app, so it will always pop up at the top of your screen. But right now, it is time for the Express Pros Pro of the Week, and the Pro of the Week goes to...
4th down and goal from inside the 2. Shotgun snap, fake the handoff, throw the fade right side. Puka reaches up and palms it with a right hand. Touchdown Puka, touchdown LA on his head. Puka Nacua scores it, and the ball don't lie. Matthew Stafford under center. Blake Corum the single back. Play fake, stand up to throw, shoot it right side. Touchdown LA. Colby Parkinson calls game. Give Matthew his MVP.
4-touchdown performance for Matthew Stafford, courtesy of the Rams Radio Network. He is your Express Pros Pro of the Week, facing a peak season. Looking for a new team member? Workforce Solutions from Express Employment Professionals makes hiring easier. Visit expresspros.com to find an office and see how Express can help you hire smarter and faster. Yeah, remember when Drake May was going to run away with the MVP? That was cute. Lasted about 5-6 days. And now it appears
I still think he's very much in contention.
He's been really good this year.
Oh, it's over. Matthew Stafford's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, I'm with you.
They just needed one performance.
Hold on. What was the betting odds? What are they at?
I'm actually efforting. It's not showing the betting odds right now.
Oh, I wonder why, Jonas. Oh, it's not a slam dunk as you think there, huh, Joni?
Well, I do.
Joni.
I do think there was some people who looked at Drake May.
Who was the other one? Chachi?
Winning the MVP.
And Chachi?
I do think some people looked at Drake May winning the MVP and were trying to find every reason not to give it to him. Like, he's been great, but it was almost like they were waiting for a performance from Matthew Stafford. So he had one against the Cardinals, and it was like, oh, that's the one.
Well,
I think the argument that some would have is that this shouldn't be a lifetime achievement award. It should be, what did they do this season? I think that's the argument for Drake May, because he has, in some advanced metrics, been phenomenal. And in regards to Stafford, he's been just as good, if not better. So it's a tough conversation, because I think both, you can make a case, are very deserving.
I mean, Albert Breer's got a vote. Let's try and squeeze it out of him next.
We are Fox Sports.
Ew.
The league's best players are made of grit, drive, and a whole lot of heart. The original Louisiana hot sauce is made of real good stuff, too. 3 simple ingredients: peppery peppers, vinegary vinegar, and salty salt. It's had a championship pedigree for almost 100 years. Will we ever see a Louisiana legacy this delicious again? I don't think so. So Santé to the original Louisiana hot sauce, made of the championship level stuff. That's Louisiana hot. Buy you some.
Member Week is here for pros at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off hundreds of items, from tools and paint to kitchen and bath and more, just in time to stock up for this year's jobs. Plus, earn 5 times the points on an eligible purchase. Shop member deals in-store and online from January 8th through the 14th. Still not a member? Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Point boosters subject to exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeart Radio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
The left lane is blocked off by a crash on I-35 northbound at Wells Branch Parkway. It's already causing a 5 to 10 minute out of your drive and has you backed up starting from Howard. And delays are starting to grow due to overnight construction work still up on 183 southbound at Highway 45. 2 left lanes are blocked off and delays start from Lakeline. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places to take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Don't miss out on South by Southwest this March. Volunteer to secure your badge and join us for the world's largest gathering of the creative community. Just by offering your time, get access to screenings, conference programming, and music showcases. Attend the volunteer call on Sunday, January 25th at Fair Market on East 5th Street, anytime between noon and 4 p.m. Learn more at sxsw.com/VOL. That's sxsw.com/VOL. Act today and don't miss out on South by Southwest this March.
At Henna Chevrolet, the price you see is the price you get. Like a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT with $15,000 off MSRP. No required dealer accessories when you arrive. No market adjustments. And we have over 40 lenders competing for your business. And when banks compete, you save. That's why Henna is Austin's favorite Chevy dealership. For a lower price made easy. Together, let's drive at Henna Chevrolet or Henna.com.
Now that a new year is here, start 2026 by showing your gratitude. iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose, celebrating the incredible impact of public school educators. Nominate an outstanding teacher in your life who's gone above and beyond for their students to be among the winners of $5,000 to stock their classroom. Teachers give their time, money, and hearts to help students succeed. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future. Get all the info and nominate a teacher who goes the extra mile today at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
iHeart is America's #1 podcast network. Open the free iHeart app and explore podcasts like this.
When 60 Minutes premiered in September 1968, there was nothing like it.
We realize, of course, that new approaches are not always instantly accepted.
I'm Seth Doan of CBS News, and I'm excited to introduce a new podcast from 60 Minutes called A Second Look. The team at 60 Minutes has spent the last year digging through thousands of tapes, transcripts, and reels of film. And you're about to hear some of the sound that was never broadcast, like 21-year-old Taylor Swift imagining her future success.
Sometimes I get really overwhelmed when I think about, like, 10 years from now, I'll be 30. What's the sound then? What are the choices I've made at that point? Oh my God, what does my life look like?
Then there are the people you may not recognize by name, but who witnessed some of the most important events in modern history. Along the way, I'll speak with some of the legendary correspondents who reported the stories, as well as those whose lives were altered after sitting down with 60. Together, we'll hear how much our world has changed.
You're working in borrowed time. You're not just saying that to scare us.
And how it hasn't.
You were either for the books or against the books. And it was almost like a civil war.
You can really draw a bright red line from 74 to 2024.
It's time for A Second Look.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KDET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeart Radio app.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Good morning, Austin, K-Town, Pflugerville, H-Town, Pearland, Mo City, El Paso,
San Antonio, and Silsbee, Texas.
Or wherever you may be listening. This is a Throwback Thursday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. As the world turns, one of the favorite soap operas out there continues on the 40 acres. College football playoff semifinals start back up tonight, and can Cinderella continue the party? Eric Henry of Horns 247 joins us at 7:34. Jerry speaks for the final Cowboy presser, and Texas women's basketball have another huge challenge tonight. But I am your host, Mike Hardball Hardge. My co-host is a WWE Hall of Famer and recognized as the world's strongest man. He is the Mark Henry.
Good morning, Austin.
And of course, we've got our guy Marcus behind the boards. And if you want to be a part of the show, and all you got to do is text the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. That's the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. Also, if you want to voice your opinion, all you got to do is use that talkback feature on the new and improved and always free iHeartRadio app. And if it's good enough, you might even hear it on air. Before we get into the news on the 40 acres, just wanted to give a little update on our guy, Jordan Shipley. Jordan Shipley had multiple surgeries so far, and he's doing well as expected. I mean, he's doing as good as he can possibly be. There was a post yesterday showing him throwing the hook 'em up, and it was very slow motion, dramatic looking image, but you can see that his hands are heavily bandaged, his arm is heavily bandaged, and his body. I mean, he was laying in the hospital bed, obviously, with his family and friends and everybody else around him. So he's trending in the right direction from what we have been able to see and what we've heard from other people that have made the visit there. So
yeah, prayers up for him.
Yeah, continue to pray for him because he's not out of the woods. He's still got a long recovery. And one of the things that they were praying for to make sure that he didn't have get pneumonia or anything like that. So he's still got a long road ahead, but everything is trending in the right direction. So we'll keep you updated as the news continues to flow in for us about one Jordan Shipley. But speaking of Jordan, there was news that came out of the 40 acres yesterday that tight end Jordan Washington has decided to enter the transfer portal. The young man was the tight end. He's 6'4", 264-pound tight end out of Langham Creek. Didn't get a lot of run. I mean, he played in 10 games this year, but he only caught 7 passes. He did get a touchdown, but it was only for 109 yards. There's when that tight end situation happened, when Texas brought in Michigan State's tight end Michael, what do I call him? What did I say his name was?
Masunas.
Michael Masunas comes in, and you start to look at the moves that are being made, and you're like, well, maybe because Jack Andrews is going into the draft, maybe that's why you thought that they should make the move. Well, it looked like they were already making the move because they had some discussions with Jordan Washington, or maybe it was Jordan Washington seeing that they were bringing another tight end in and decided, hey, it's my time to move around. Nick Townsend obviously got a lot of run. They actually ran the ball with him on the goal line a couple times. So we'll see what ends up happening. But, yes, there was a move that was made yesterday. And now we will see how it plays out if they go and follow up with another tight end or try to get somebody else in there. But there was also news that Bo Barnes, linebacker, was planning on entering the transfer portal as well. But last night, Hank South over at Horns 247, we'll probably get some clarity from our guy Eric Henry coming up at 7:34. It says sources tell Horns 247 that Will Muschamp is speaking with Bo Barnes and his family about staying at the university, and it may have been resolved. So we will see what ends up happening about this. Now, Mark, I wanted to ask you this because we'll get into the NCAA and what they're having to go through with this new Damon Williams Jr., the quarterback out of Washington, who we'll get into it. I don't want to spoil that part of it. But this is one of the things that I've said for a while, and others, I'm not the only one who said this. This is one of those things where the NCAA and guardrails have to be put in place. When when this all started happening, we were all for the transfer portal. We were all for NIL. We were all for all of this great positive stuff. But it became negative real quick when there were no rules that were set. And now we are seeing the carnage of college free agency. So
yeah, we also said that you needed to set parameters. You and I talked about a simple line of rules being established. The NCAA they like, oh, that's what y'all want to do? And they're like pouting children. They got their arms folded, and they're like, okay, let's just see it implode. Then we'll come in.
Yep. That's where I was going with it. I said, my question was going to be, do you think the NCAA, who tried to govern a little bit, they
didn't try.
They tried not this. They had things in place, but everybody was pushing against the establishment. They did have things in place where if you transferred, you had to sit out.
Right.
They had these things in place and people got mad about it. And so now you've opened up.
Look at my arms.
Yeah, you've opened up this can that you can't put it back in. All the stuff,
the toothpaste is out.
Everything is gone. But how, where, when can somebody step in and say, hey, we somehow, some way, it's just like the transfer portal right now. The transfer portal is open and we still have teams playing to chase a championship. It should never have been at this moment. But you know why it's at this moment? Because school is about to start again. School is about to start.
It's so messed up.
It's zany when you sit back and you really, it's almost like a cartoon. Like what we're seeing in a cartoon right now is the world that we're living in with college athletics.
This is the NCAA right now. For those that can't see me, I have my arms folded. They want to see you doubtful about how it's going to all work out. You went over my head? Okay, go ahead. I want to see you fail.
Yeah.
And then in a little while, they'll say, look, okay, this is the time parameters that you should do this. You need to have at least a 2-year contract. You have to abide by the contract. If you go against the contract, then you don't play for the term of your contract. So if you had all these guys going in the portal every year, you go in the portal when you got 1 year left. You got 2 years on your deal. You can't go in the portal. Otherwise, you sit home for 2 years. And it counts against your eligibility. You have to set parameters where it makes the money secondary. Just like there are people that were taking money before, like SMU got the death penalty for issuing out money. The money was number one over school. They want the student athlete to be the relevant term. Right now, your athletes that just happen to be going to college.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same as it used to be. And the rules were not set before. Normally, don't you set if you play a board game, okay, you pull out Monopoly. The first thing you do is look at the roof of the box and it says all the rules and you learn all the rules, right? That's not what happened. When the portal came into effect, it was like, okay, we can pay people. Then they just started doing it. The NCAA kind of folded their arms and said, all right, well, y'all ousted us. All right, we'll move out the way.
It was pretty much a perfect storm, though, because they changed all the rules that they had previous, and then they started playing players. If they had the original old rules with paying players, I think it would work out a whole lot better.
It would have. Hardge just said it. Like, there were rules in play that would have really helped a lot. And for whatever term, people wanted to, they wanted to have power over the NCAA. And now they have like a real mess that needs to be cleaned up.
It is an absolute mess. I don't know the answers, but there are some things that are out there that I think can set up some parameters.
Can we set up the time parameters?
I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot that needs to
that'll be a big start.
Because teams are trying to prepare to play for championships and trying to keep their locker room safe. And it's hard for them to do right now. We're just getting started on this Thursday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Coming up next, we're going to talk about the NCAA, and it's being challenged again and it's the SEC's reign over in college football. We'll talk about it right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app.
Craig Way knows everybody.
We're visiting with Brad Sham, voice of the Cowboys, and all I'm thinking to myself is, Reggie Jackson, you got to do a better job of asking the question.
I think it was our friend Art Haynes to whom he said that.
Yeah, because that's when he followed about, you can take your microphone and your glasses.
You can take your microphone and your glasses, and then he proceeded to tell Art what he could do with all of those things, all of which were physically impossible, even with exaggerated surgery.
Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeartRadio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
Construction clearance is in progress on 183 southbound at Highway 45. Right now, 2 left lanes are blocked off, and it's causing about a 5-minute delay from Lakeland Boulevard, but all should be back open pretty soon. Watch out for a stalled vehicle affecting the interchange ramp on I-35 southbound, trying to exit off to Highway 183. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Abacus Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.
Clog drain? No problem. Abacus makes it 1, 2, 3 easy. They clear the drain, conduct a video inspection, and include a 123-day clog-free guarantee for just $123. No wonder they say Abacus. You can count on us.
Visit abacusplumbing.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The playoffs start this weekend, and now you can trade on football legally in Texas on Kalshi. Right now, Pittsburgh is trading at 38% to beat Houston. That means a $100 trade pays out $264 with a win. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the odds change, you can buy in or out of your position all game long. And for a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code iHeart to get $20 when you trade 100. KALSHI, Kalshi. Trade on anything.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
Russ Faria was charged with a crime that he swore he did not commit.
No, I did not do this. I do not know how this happened. I did not do this. I was not involved with this.
Just after Christmas, Troy, Missouri, 2011.
The jury was left with no alternative, and in most people's words, the husband did it. Who else would have?
The prosecutor said it was rage, greed. We wouldn't be here if the answer was that easy.
In my opinion, an innocent man got charged with murder, and then it sort of snowballed from there.
I'm Keith Morrison. I've been a correspondent for Dateline NBC for 25 years. And in that time, I've never seen a story quite like this before. As we investigated the saga of murder, greed, lies, things became personal. What happens when a true crime show becomes part of the story? We could never have imagined.
I've worked on other cases that have twists and turns, but I've never worked on a case like this with so many twists and turns that were completely unpredictable.
From Dateline NBC, this is The Thing About Pam. The wild and unbelievable story of the murder of Betsy Faria.
I'd like to see this story conclude with justice. Betsy Faria has not received justice. Russ Faria has not received justice. Her family has not received justice.
And if we've learned anything in all the years we followed this story, anything is possible.
Whoa.
I'm Keith Morrison. The Thing About Pam, an all-new podcast from Dateline NBC. Subscribe now.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one.
Longhorns football plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and RS3 on the iHeartRadio app. Coming up in the next segment, 7:34, we will have our guy Eric Henry of Horns 247 joining us about all things Texas Longhorn and transfer portal, and so get his thoughts on what he's been seeing from this Texas men's basketball team. But as we were talking about a little while ago, the NCAA guardrails, what's going on with it? There's a lot to digest when it comes to football players, transfer portal, and NIL deals. But one of the things that is really taking over college football right now is not necessarily the college football playoffs, which it should be. We're talking more about the transfer portal. And Damon Williams Jr. decision to leave Washington after he had already signed a deal to return to the Huskies has a lot of folks scratching their head. Because when you think about life, you think about if we got a deal, we got a deal. In the business world, if you sign the deal, you're bound to the deal. But there's news and information that is out there that kind of provides a thought that because the transfer portal window has not closed, and that will be on the 16th, folks. The window closes on the 16th. If the window is still open, you still have time to negotiate. You got time to move around. You got a chance to see certain things that are happening. But is that binding for a contract that you signed, signatures on it, and now you're trying to wiggle your way out of it because the monies are for next year and not this year? I'm confused about this whole situation.
You shouldn't be. You're a smart guy. This kid signed a contract. You take your rear end to camp, get to school, and you start taking classes. That's where you belong. You signed a deal to be there. Like what see, the parents are blinded by the money. I feel bad for the system. I feel bad for the system. But I don't feel bad for the kid. They already got the money. The parents are teaching a bad president. They're setting a bad president to allow this kid an off-ramp after he signed his name on the line. Oh, I got married. I don't want to be married no more. I'm going to school. I changed my major. I don't want to be a communications major now. I want to be a science teacher. I want to study science. Like you're allowing them to have too many changes and never finishing something. Or we've had this conversation about our kids. That you know what? You don't have to play football. You don't have to play basketball. You do whatever you want to do. But whatever you choose, you're gonna finish it. Then you can go on to something else. They're not doing that. That's just simple parenting. They're gonna have to at some point put their foot down and say that, look, okay, then you can't play football. You signed a contract. Unless you come to Washington, you're not playing football. And while all of this is going on, no more checks. It's over. he'll show up because one, he don't want the check. Two, no other school can't touch you while you have that deal. At least that's the way it should be.
I was going to say that's the way it should be,
But it's
that's
not
the way that it is. And that goes back to our point about where does this stand? There's supposed to be litigation. They're trying to hold him to this deal, but then you're coming back with a disgruntled employee. So now you're jeopardizing what you have in your locker room as well. But it also sets the precedent. If this particular situation where he's signed the deal, he can back out of the deal and get back into the portal, this blows everything up.
Did you see the message I sent you yesterday?
Which one? You sent me
about this. I sent you a lot. but about this issue. Do you even want him back now?
But that's my point. Like now, because now you're out of the market of your quarterback, who obviously was at 71% of a completion rate. They ranked 6th in the Big Ten with 3,000 yards passing, 25 touchdowns. Yeah.
Then if that's what you want, then you say, look, I'm not letting you out of this deal.
Right.
Like you need to go ahead and just, fall in line because you signed a deal and we're going to stick to this deal. And if we have to start taking you to court, then we'll take you to court.
I think that is the next legal step that the University of Washington and their collectives, I think that is the next course of action, because now you've put us, after we work to get you what you asked for, but what happens is you start to look at the market. And I said this yesterday about some of the University of Texas players that have decided to step away from the university. Last year's price ain't the same for a new kid coming in.
No.
When I was drafted, you saw that they drafted another guy like me the next year, and he got more money than me. And it continued to happen because of the way that the market is dictating the moves.
And inflation and
everything is happening that way. So now, because your deal, 2-year deal, happens to be X amount of dollars, but the next person that's coming in is getting more, that's not for you to worry about. That's not your place. Don't pocket watch what somebody else is getting because of the fact that it's a new year.
Yeah.
And it's a different time. So it's like we talk about it all the time. All my baseball buddies, we're seeing all the money that is being out there. My cousin who played in the NFL, he's like, we're born at the wrong time.
At the wrong time.
Same players, be the exact same stud that you were at that time, but come out now, your money is totally different than what it was 30 years ago.
Don't you
40
think Earl
years
Campbell
ago.
wished that he could be born in this time? And how much would you get for Earl Campbell?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They were trying to get Earl with money then. Every school, Kenny said, every great athlete was enticed by money. Look at what Eric Dickerson did. Look at Craig. There was money involved. It's always been. You talk about the handshake all the time. That's
$100 handshake,
that's
baby.
been prevalent everywhere. But now, on the legal side of things, those types of players, there is no money. I mean, there's no limit on what you would pay for those types of guys.
Yeah.
It's like I'm on a thread and they were talking about Arch Manning taking the pay cut, right? Like I'm taking the pay cut or whatever you want to call it. He's still getting big money from endorsements on the outside of this, but he's talking about from the university. He's like, nah, man, y'all give me some players. And the thread said, yeah, Arch, we got you some players. We got you a deep snapper. We got you a kicker. We got you a punter.
That stuff is important now. Don't poo-poo.
It definitely is. It's definitely important. But the realization of what we were talking about yesterday and where we are now with this college football thing and college basketball and whatever else, we got We got former G League players being able to come back to college to be able
Yeah,
to.
they got to change this stuff.
But again, goes back to your point about the NCAA sitting back and saying, all right, here you go. This is what y'all wanted.
Do it.
Have at it. And
Do
then
it.
y'all fight each other.
Y'all call us when you're ready.
Yeah, you fight each other and find out what's going on. I can't wait to talk to our guy, Eric Henry of Horns 247. He's coming up right here on the morning kickoff, and you do not want to miss it. It's always great radio with our guy, E. Henry of Horns 247, joining us next right here on the morning kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center, Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
Big delays this morning caused by an accident on I-35 northbound at Howard Lane. You're backed up about a 30 to 40-minute delay from Berrywood Drive. A stalled vehicle is affecting the interchange ramp from I-35 southbound off to 183. There's also a stall blocking off the left lane on the service road of Mopac going northbound at Highway 290. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Abacus Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.
Need an AC company you can count on? Call Abacus. From tune-ups to repairs and the latest indoor air quality solutions, Abacus can do it all. Now get 0% financing for 60 months on select Linux systems. If you want the best, call Abacus. You can count on us.
Need a reason to call Thomas J. Henry Law after a car accident? How about $1 billion? Because Thomas J. Henry Law fights even when the insurance company says your claim is worth nothing. Thomas J. Henry doesn't back down. That's how we put over $1 billion in our clients' pockets in just the last 4 years, and why we're one of the largest personal injury law firms in Texas. Car accident? Visit thomasjhenrylaw.com. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. Principal office, San Antonio.
Woohoo! Hear that? That's what having fewer hot flashes and night sweats can sound like. Veoza is the #1 prescribed hormone-free treatment FDA approved for moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms, also known as hot flashes and night sweats, due to menopause. Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to Veoza.com. That's VEOZAH.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Spurs with a big run in the third quarter, knock off the Lakers 107-91 at home. Texans hit the practice field today as they get set for Monday night's AFC wildcard matchup against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said his goal is to retire as the owner that has won the most Super Bowls. Well, he has work to do. Jones has 3, trails Patriots owner Robert Kraft, who has 6. I'm Ronza Moss.
This is Chris Broussard. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Discover.
Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Jesus didn't live passively. He lived on a rescue mission. As we step into the new year, the Daily Pursuit with Tim Tebow podcast reminds us that God has called us to more, to live on purpose and rise as conquerors. As followers of Christ, we're called to do the same, because discipline may be painful in the moment, but it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search The Daily Pursuit with Tim Tebow, and listen now.
Netflix is giving the first look at its slate of movies and shows coming this year. The streaming giant dropping a 4-minute video that teases some of the more than 160 shows and movies confirmed to be on the way.
What next? This year, I see love on your horizon.
They include Enola Holmes 3, Season 4 of Bridgerton, and the Peaky Blinders movie. Also releasing this year are The Lincoln Lawyer Season 4, One Piece Season 2, and Formula One Drive to Survive Season 8. Not on the 2026 schedule are hits like Ginny and Georgia, Ransom Canyon, and Wednesday. Nick Reiner's arraignment on murder charges delayed until February after his attorney Alan Jackson unexpectedly withdrew from the case. Reiner to be represented now by a public defender. The 32-year-old charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the December 14th stabbing deaths of his parents, Hollywood icon Rob Reiner and photographer Michelle Singer Reiner.
Can't nobody take my pride.
Employees of Sean Diddy Combs claiming they've not received paychecks while the mogul is in prison. According to reports from TMZ, TriStar Sports and Entertainment currently managing Combs' finances, and sources say the company is keeping such a firm grasp on the music exec's fortune that some employees on his payroll have yet to be paid. However, a rep for Combs rejecting the claim and saying people, personnel, and attorneys are all being paid. No one is leaving. Combs has been serving a 50-month sentence at FCI Fort Dixon, New Jersey since October. That's entertainment. I'm Jennifer Bolsoni.
The Craig Way Show, weekdays at 2.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app. It's Thursday, so that can mean one thing. Our guy Eric Henry of Horns 247 will be joining us as always to break down Texas football and, of course, Texas basketball. E, good morning, my brother. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Happy New Year. Happy to be back on with y'all.
I'm glad to be on with you too, man. We're not going to spend too much time about the bowl game. I know that you got a chance to go home and kick it with the family, so that was always good. But overall, how was the experience at the Citrus Bowl, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, for Texas fans, I would sit here and talk about how, you know, so much conversation was around the opt-outs, right? And leading into the game there. But that ended up making for the best game because you had guys out there who wanted to prove something, as opposed to some of the guys who opted out because they're preparing for the NFL draft. You had a bunch of young, hungry guys on both teams who wanted to prove something. But I can't even talk about that because some of the guys who contributed for Texas are now possibly exploring different avenues. So right now, we got to spin it forward to the here and now, Hardge, Mark.
Yeah. Why you have to recruit the guys you already have too? So that's nothing that's been a big change. You know, you had guys that went out there and stepped up. They proved they belong on the field, and now you have to like compensate them. That's the new system, right?
You're Mark. You're 1,000% correct. I think I'll make it quick, but I think that was one of the fears for teams. You know why, Mark? You had teams claiming not to want to play spring games, right? Because if player X has a good spring game, well, then they'll get exposure and they can use that as leverage to ask for a paycheck. Well, now what we've seen now are these bowl games are kind of de facto spring games, and it's serving the same purpose.
Well, since we're there, let's go ahead and get into the transfer portal. Obviously, some guys have already found some homes. Trey Wisner, Florida State. Parker Livingston went north of the Red River. And it looks like C.J. Baxter may have found a home in Kentucky. But last night, news came out. Your site has been all over this, as well as all the others, talking about Jordan Washington and Bo Barnes, which was kind of interesting to me, but I'm sure you will elaborate about the game that he played, and now he feels like his worth is a little bit different.
Yeah, I'll work in reverse real quick before I get to Bo Barnes. Jordan Washington. I actually wrote about that a few days ago before Jordan, at least the reports came out that he'd be entering the portal. That one didn't surprise me, right? Because when you have a Michael Massinus who comes in from Michigan State, the tight end who they bring in, it's a crowded tight end room. And not only is it just a crowded tight end room, it's guys who, if you take a look, you have Amari Winston, who's a true freshman. You have Nick Townsend, the true freshman. These are all guys who are possibly, with a good spring, could leap a Jordan Washington on the depth chart. Spencer Shane appears to still be locked into his role as the blocking tight end. So it felt like one of those guys had to give. I'm surprised that right now seemingly it's Jordan Washington. As to Bo Barnes, the latest from our side, now I'll just speak for us, is the expectation is that Bo Barnes will enter the transfer portal, but the latest is that new defense coordinator Will Muschamp is trying to intervene, have a conversation with Bo Barnes to possibly prevent him, or I shouldn't say prevent him, but, give him reason to stay. Let me make sure I use my words carefully. Give him reason to stay as a Texas Longhorn. So keep an eye on that. That's a fluid situation. I think Bo Barnes, from my perspective, guys, is a player who would thrive in Will Muschamp's system. You know, a bigger linebacker, athletic guys. You know, Mark talked about the bowl game. One of the things that really impressed me was when he hawked down Bryce Underwood in the open field, right? That was the play that really said to me, oh, wow, okay, like 6'1", 244, but the athleticism in open field to bring down a big man like that is there, right? So for Texas fans, you certainly want to hope Bo Barnes can stay, because that's a position that's thin right now.
Eric, with the existing system, I don't see anything wrong with this. Like a lot of times people, they scoff at people trying to get their paper, and the rules state basically that you are a free agent after every year. Bo Barnes does not have a 2-year deal with the University of Texas where he has to fulfill the 2 years, and then you can become a free agent. You have to take advantage of the system, correct?
Mark, you're 100% correct. This is the analogy I wrote about yesterday. You talked about it. This is the new era of college sports, and specifically college football, right? Because again, it doesn't necessarily happen at high of a rate at the other sports, Mark and Hardge, but everyone is a 1-year free agent. If I were, and I am a Bucs fan, and we had this system in the NFL, I'd want Patrick Mahomes, Saquon Barkley, Myles Garrett. I want all those guys signed. Mark, I'll bring back to you, right? This is back in the day in the Monday Night Wars, and there was everyone's a free agent. I want Sting. I want, Scott Steiner. I want everyone coming to my organization, right? Like, right. That's the way the game is set up right now. And that's the problem with college sports is there's no regulation around it. You're trying to, I can't use certain words on the air, but you're trying to kind of half bake some of these things, right? Without
what you mean.
Putting the framework in place.
Yeah, and that's the one thing, E, that we've been talking about this morning, because you look at what's going on with the Damon Williams Jr. Situation up in Washington, contract signed. Now he's trying to back out of it. Rumors are saying that it's because the transfer portal hadn't closed yet, so he's still technically out there. There's just so much that is wild when it comes to what's going on with college football. But if you were the commissioner, what would be the very first thing in order that you will line up when it comes to, we're going to stay specific to college football?
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's easy in my mind, Hardge. This has been going on since the time that, you were a high school athlete coming out and getting recruited. Stop the sham, the guise of amateurism. Let's just admit we are talking about minor league sports, in this case football, and get these guys under contracts and end the sham of amateurism. Right now it looks different than when you were coming out, but we still had, variations of these things back in the day, right? And now it's just full, in open plain sight for everyone to see. But end the sham of amateurism. Get these guys under contracts. Yes, that's going to mean you're going to have to deal with a union and all these things, but we can't sit there and pretend as if, the bag of chips hasn't been opened. We're already there.
No doubt about it. We're talking to Eric Henry of Horns 247. You can follow him at Eric C. Henry _ on social. Let's transition. Let's get to the hardwood. It has been.
Let's go.
Yeah, we've talked about this. You and I had the conversation before the game of one thing against Mississippi State, one thing that could not happen. It happened, and he goes for a career high. And then you come back the next night or the Tuesday, they go on the road, go up against Tennessee, and another guy has a career night against this Texas basketball team. But Coach Sean Miller has been nothing but direct about his thoughts on this team.
Yeah, I'll be super quick here. I think the clip / quote that went viral after the Mississippi State game was a question I asked Sean Miller. I'll shout out David Eckert of Austin American Statesman. Dave does a great job. He was asking Sean Miller if he was comfortable with the defense his team played towards the end of regulation, where, as you mentioned, Tyler Hubbard hits a 3, right? Mississippi State scores the final 7 points of regulation. Of course, the game overtime, they win. So to me, the natural follow-up, because Sean Miller said that his team was making, stupid basketball plays, was, okay, Sean, your words, if they are making stupid basketball plays, they're not executing the defense that you believe is simple, is that a basketball IQ thing from the team? Or is that you as a staff that needs to teach this in a better way? And Sean gave the anecdote about, hey, crossing the street, if you tell them not to do it, and then damn it, they do it, he's going to take responsibility as the parent, but, it's so on and so forth, right? And then, you fast forward a couple nights later, I was not in Tennessee, but I'll shout out Ben McKee of Go Vols 247, our Tennessee side affiliate, who passed along Sean's post-game audio, where he's just flatly calling out the effort, saying that, hey, we need guys who are going to want to play. Saying that guys play for Sean Miller. They need to understand and want to play for the University of Texas, play for Sean Miller, play for themselves, and then play for their teammates, right? So I will say this, right now, this is a team that's staring at an NIT unless they can get things fixed in a hurry.
Eric, isn't it a horrible indictment to have your coach say, we're playing 4-on-5? Like, we don't have a power forward that's playing in the game. If you were listed on the roster as a power forward, how would you feel?
No, Mark, I agree with you, right? And Camden Heide, what you're referencing is Sean Miller saying we weren't getting anything from the 4 position. He said that after the Mississippi State game, which Cam Heide didn't score a point and had his struggles defensively. Now, in Cam's defense, he did bounce back with 16 points against Tennessee, but then they didn't get anything from the other positions, right? But no, Mark, I completely agree with you. To have one position singled out like that would not make me feel good at all.
Yeah, it's a tough journey, and that NIT sound is, I think right now, if you were asking Texas fans, I think that's being generous, my brother.
I'm on Coach Miller's side.
So we're gonna see what ends up happening as we move forward. As always, E, we thank you for taking the time, brother. It's you one of the hardest working brothers out there. I don't know who works harder, you or Corey Mose, but we gonna find out what's going down.
Hey,
man.
I'm gonna send
Appreciate
y'all
you.
some pictures of Corey Mose last night.
He already
at the
posted
Spurs.
them. He already posted them. He's clean. He stay clean.
But Mark, did he have on the extra medium suit? Because Corey got to wear the extra medium suit.
Listen, man, I can see his heartbeat. But he had on Gucci. He had on Gucci shoes.
Yeah. There he is, our guy.
Gucci.
Our guy, Eric Henry of Horns 247. As always, thanks, E. When we come back, we're going to get back into it. We're going to talk a little bit about Trae Young and the move that was made yesterday. We talked about it, and now it happened. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app.
In their inaugural season in the SEC, the Texas Longhorns made history.
For the first time in 22 years, the Texas women are headed for the Final Four.
Now, they're back to finish what they started.
To the hoop, and she scores! And she scores!
Harmon will hoist it from half court and makes it. Listen to Texas women's basketball all season long on 1300 The Zone. Your home for the Horns.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeartRadio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
Big delays this morning caused by an accident on I-35 northbound at Howard Lane. You're backed up about a 30 to 40-minute delay from Berrywood Drive. A stalled vehicle is affecting the interchange ramp from I-35 southbound off to 183. There's also a stall blocking you off the left lane on the service road of Mopac going northbound at Highway 290. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Stand Up to Cancer.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
This is Jim. Hello. Jim started advertising with iHeartRadio way back in April. And now,
I have customers out the door.
And this is Sarah.
Hi.
She started putting a portion of her marketing dollars in podcasting back in June.
Business is booming. That's why I'm working on a Saturday.
Want to be like Jim and Sarah? It's easy. All you have to do is own or manage a business and reach out to iHeart. Get started today at 844-844-iHeart or iHeartAdvertising.com.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ROYAL25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ROYAL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ROYAL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
New year, new opportunities. Start 2026 by taking control of your financial future with Texit Coin, the cryptocurrency born in Texas for Texans. Fast, secure, and decentralized. Texit Coin is your chance to buy into in freedom and innovation. Don't just make resolutions, make moves towards independence, growth, and real financial power. Visit TexitCoin.com today and join the Texas Revolution in Finance. Make this the year you lead, not follow. Texit Coin, where Texas meets tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KDET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app.
We asked kids what it took to be a dad. This is what they had to say.
A father is always present. I mean, what real father figure can you have if they're not there?
In order to be a good dad, you need to love your son. You need to put gas in your car so you don't break down in the middle of nowhere. And you need to make them breakfast. Yep.
I mean, just to maybe play like a board game with me, or to just stay home and play some video games with me. Just to do like that one little thing is what I really look forward to.
I'm not asking him to be a perfect dad, but he should try. He's just a constant force in my life.
There's no other type of love like a dad's love because it's not comparable to anything else.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Coach Sark here. 1300 The Zone is your flagship home for the Texas Longhorns.
Sark right there. It's the flagship of the Texas Longhorns. It's football, basketball. You're here for it. Shout out to our guy Eric of 247. He broke it down. NBA news note from Trey Young was talked about. We had the conversation, and the thought process of where he wanted to go was something that, insiders had already told us about.
Malika, Trey Young, the 4-time NBA All-Star guard, has the Washington Wizards as his top preferred trade destination. Sources tell me his agents and the Hawks are collaborating on figuring out a trade landing spot. And in the nation's capital, Trey Young would give the Wizards a lead guard for the future. They've got young players. Clearly, they've been rebuilding, but they've got young players that he could build with. And there are relationships that Trey Young has throughout the Wizards organization, specifically with their executive, Travis Schlenk, who drafted Young number 5 overall in the 2018 NBA draft. And so the Hawks now have 3 different paths. One being trading Trey Young by the trade deadline next month. The second path is seeing Trey Young, whether he opts in or opts out of that $49 million player option for next season. If he opts in, he's an expiring contract. If he opts out, that gives the Hawks about $40 million in cap space. So There is traction on a deal. A few days ago, it was agents and players and teams talking, but now there is traction in these trade conversations and his eventual exit out of Atlanta.
Well, it has officially happened last night. The Atlanta Hawks traded four-time NBA All-Star Trae Young to the Washington Wizards for CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert. That trade happened last night. That leaves Trae Young as the all-time franchise leader in assists with 4,837 and in three-pointers made with 1,295. He is sixth in the NBA on the Hawks for scoring with 12,413. Here's a little bit of unique situation with Trae Young. Did you know that Trae Young and Luka were traded for each other on draft night?
Yeah.
Did you know that Doncic was the first, he's first in points per game by any active player. Trae Young is first in assists by any active player. Both are top five all-time in points per game and assists per game. They're 1 and 2 in 30 and 10 assist games. Both were traded away this year. Only one first-round pick was involved with this. So both of these guys got traded for the spare change in your car.
And a pack of Skittles.
If you like Skittles.
If you like Skittles. Interesting to see how the NBA and these trades have finally made their way. The interesting part, or the biggest question for me, is why Washington? Trae has some kind of plan together already in order for him to pick that team.
Yeah.
Because they're not a perennial winner. When you think NBA championships, you don't think Washington.
No. That's why it's like, why Washington?
And money-wise, yeah, Washington is a great market. But is there anybody that's Washington is paying like $300 million to? No. Like, the ownership is not invested into the franchise like that. That's one of the reasons why you don't hear their name mentioned amongst the top 10 NBA teams.
But at this stage in your career, don't you want to be a champion? Don't you want to win?
You want to win.
You already got money.
Yeah, he already made $300 million.
I'm like, that to me is the question. It's like, okay, if that's the case, why didn't you want to stay in Atlanta?
But you know what, Hardge? The only thing I can think of is the relationship got so toxic in Atlanta with the ownership, the coaching staffs. Like, listen, guys, y'all just don't believe in me. You don't care. Like, I got to get away from y'all. If you're at the point to where you're like, listen, man, just send me to Washington.
Like that to me is like the biggest question. Yeah, like why Washington?
Why? Everybody's saying the same thing. You should have heard the NBA players last night. They're like, he going to Washington?
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I can't wait for the other shoe to drop. We got to find out what's going on.
Well, then we'll say, we understand there. Well, we will find out more and continue these conversations on the other side. That's right. Hour number 1 is in the books. Hour number 2 is just around the corner. College football playoffs. That's right. They're back in action tonight. And old Jimbo had something to say about Lane Kiffin. We'll bring it all to you right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app.
Introducing True Earnings Checking from Austin Telco Federal Credit Union. Earnings that are almost too good to be true. Earn 5% APY on balances up to $15,000. It's simple. Just deposit at least $1,500 in new money and make 15 debit card transactions each month. No minimum balance, no monthly fees, even if you miss the requirements. Open your account online or at any of our 24 Austin area locations. Visit atfcu.org to learn more. Rates subject to change without notice. Federally insured by NCUA.
Let me get personal here. Have you ever wiped with a piece of dry single-ply toilet paper and wondered, is this as good as it gets? Well, it's not. It gets a lot better than that. Right, Todd? Wouldn't you say that Dude Wipes gets a whole lot better?
Much better.
Thank you. So no matter the size of your mess from top to bottom, Dudes has you covered, confidently covered. They comfortably clean up what TP leaves behind for no more maintenance wipes. No way. Irritation, not a chance. Time to make the trade of the season and switch from toilet paper to wet, extra large Dude Wipes and start experiencing the confident clean of Dude Wipes. Made from 100% plant-based natural fibers, coming in a variety of scents and sensations like mint chill and shea butter to protect your end zone. Join the movement for cleaner movements and live in a skid-free zone. Available at Amazon and major retailers nationwide. Dude Wipes, best clean, pants down.
Over 3 million Texans struggle with diabetes. There are neighbors, teachers, doctors and nurses, police officers, and often their family members. Across every walk of life, Texans may be fighting a serious health battle, but there's hope for a cure. Right now, when you make a donation to HelpStopDiabetes.com, Thomas J. Henry will generously match your donation, with all proceeds supporting the American Diabetes Association. Because when we take care of each other, we take care of Texas. Please, make your donation today. Visit HelpStopDiabetes.com.
At Henna Chevrolet, the price you see is the price you get. Like a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT with $15,000 off MSRP. No required dealer accessories when you arrive. No market adjustments. And we have over 40 lenders competing for your business. And when banks compete, you save. That's why Henna is Austin's favorite Chevy dealership. For a lower price made easy. Together, let's drive at Henna Chevrolet or Henna.com.
Want to save some money in 2026? Stop paying for apps you don't need. The iHeartRadio app is completely free. Live radio stations, music playlists for everything, and the most podcasts on the planet. The number one app for radio is free. iHeartRadio. Listen now.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second?
I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
Well, you still ride your skateboard to work. There's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control of my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown-up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KDET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the number one preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. We talked transfer portal. We talked NCAA and what they need to do. Eric Henry of Horns 247 broke it down on the moves that were being made on the 40 acres. And we just finished talking NBA. Before the show is over, we're going to hear from Vic Schaefer as they have a big matchup tonight versus Auburn. And you can hear all the action right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone with the voice of the Texas Longhorns, our guy, Craig Way. Craig Way showed this afternoon from 2 to 5. Make sure you're locked in all day. And it's always free on the iHeartRadio app. We got college football that is getting busy tonight. We talked about some of the particulars that will be in the game. Ole Miss versus the U in the Fiesta Bowl, kickoff at 6:30 on ESPN. But The story about Ole Miss is the Cinderella story. And you can say, Hardge, come on, man. Can't be the Cinderella story. This is a team that went 13-1. Like, what are you talking about? This is a team that has done real well all season long. No doubt about it. But they lost their head coach in the middle of this playoff run. Well, right before the playoff run. As soon as the season ended, he was in the wind. Lane Kiffin, the snake that he is, has slithered all the way to Baton Rouge when he has a team that is set up to be in the college football playoffs. But before I get into that game tonight and get your thoughts, Mark, I want you to hear from former coach Jimbo Fisher talking about Lane Kiffin leaving in a time that he did and how he feels about it.
No, it's selfish. That's what it is. It's stupid. And because here's why I say that. He wanted a coach and thought he didn't get his way. So everybody get on the plane with me, you don't have a job. All right? And he makes them all go. Then he gets down there and takes a PR hit because it looks bad that you really don't care about the kids. Then he says, okay, you can go back. But here's where he screwed up.
He thought they were going to lose.
He thought they were going to lose to Georgia, exactly. And then the portal thing was all over with, and it was going to be all over with. And he said, "Okay, I'll look like a hero." Yeah. Now he's got egg on his face because the real Lane came back out. You know what I'm saying? And if those guys were allowed to coach the first game, they should be allowed to coach it because those kids are doing something that you get one time in your life to ever do.
Literally,
that team and those guys one time. And as a coach, listen, I know I've left a job. I get that. But if you took them on and said they're never coming back, that's fine. You set the rules of the game. You don't change the rules in the middle of the game. And as a coach, it's hurting the kids and it pisses me off. But I will say this. It's a little easier to do nowadays because the off-field coaches back in our day when you were playing, you couldn't get on the field and coach. So it's a little different. These guys, now you can, which should have been back then. And so those guys have actually been the few guys that were an assistant O-line or running back, whatever the position may be. Right. They've actually coached. And those kids aren't, and they got Charlie there because people don't realize this. Charlie called the plays.
Right.
Yeah. Lane did not call the plays. I'm not saying he didn't call all of them, but he called the game. So they got him back. But if he let him go the first game, he should let him go. Now, go recruit during the week. We can Zoom call the players, have my meetings, but they should be here at the game coaching.
I agree with that 100%. I think that those guys who have brought all those kids into that university should be able to walk out there, win, lose, or draw, and be a part of what their journey. Because you hear it every year. They have the meeting, the opening meeting when they walk in there. These are our goals. These are our expectations. And by the end of the year, we want to be hoisting that trophy as a national champion. Every school goes through that. Well, now you don't let those coaches be a part of those players' lives at the end of this journey because we don't know what's going to happen after tonight. This whole story may end. But what we've been able to witness from this team, the galvanization of the minds and everybody being together, the coaches, Golding has been outstanding with this team. And now he's taking over and those guys believe in what he's doing and they have a chance to upset this apple cart. This has been outstanding to me. And I heard somebody say, this is America's team. America's pulling for Ole Miss. I'm not going that far and calling them America's team.
That's
but I do like what I'm seeing from them and the fight and the resolve that they continue to go with. And to make it even better, they get to keep both of their guys. NCAA, come do the right thing when it comes to Trinidad Chambers. But they get to keep their quarterback and they get to keep their running back because Keywan Lacey said that he was coming back to Ole Miss. So now, not only is Lane Kiffin tried to mess up this whole journey, he ain't getting the players that he wanted to bring with him. So now it looks even worse for Lane Kiffin.
Lane I almost said something crass. He got it backwards. He thought that it was about him. He made it about him, and it backfired, just like Coach Fisher said.
Yep.
It backfired. And now it looks like he's got egg on his face. How is he going to recover from this? Because they have a couple of guys that have said, oh, we're going to stay at LSU. But none that you would go, okay, this guy's a game changer.
Right.
He's got to get out of here in this portal right now. And Hardge, he's got to pull some guys that are going to make needle movers.
Yeah.
And it don't look like that right now because the top 5 guys in the portal that's currently right now, they're visiting teams that are in the SEC that are not LSU.
Yeah.
LSU is not even on their boards of teams they're going to go visit.
Well, Sam Leavitt is there right now, the quarterback from Arizona State. He was somebody that everybody thought was going to want to go there once he left Arizona State. But the reality of it all is, yeah, people love Sam Leavitt when he was at Arizona State and he had Cam Scatterboo. He had some guys that were there. But go back and look at his season this year. He wasn't very good. So when you romanticize about some of these quarterbacks and how you think that they're going to come into your program and change your program, that's not always true. It's interesting. I know that you want to put all these quarterback whisperers out there, but you have to be able to gel with the team and make things. He's coming into the SEC.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
And he's got a target on him now.
Yes.
Everybody wants to embarrass him because of what he did.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to stand up and go, no, you made a mistake. You made this decision. Now you got to live with it.
Yeah.
Man, LSU, if they don't pull a coup here in the next week, this could be a long season for them, Hardge.
Yeah.
This could be a very long season.
Now, when Mark was talking about this is going to be tough, and they got coming back on him, he was talking about Lane Kiffin and what the expectations are. We know that Lane has been in the SEC, but I'm talking about Sam Leavitt when he is coming in, because now this is going to be a different look for that young man. The game tonight, though, is what we're going to talk about. Miami and Ole Miss. Trinidad Chambliss, big opportunity. Miami to you, Michael Irvin. In Arizona, again, the scene of the crime where Michael Irvin got in a little bit of trouble when he was at that hotel.
Watch out now.
Now he's going to be back in there. He's going to have to find another place to stay. It better be an Airbnb instead of a hotel. We're going to see what he ends up doing. But as this game gets ready to play out, Mario Cristobal, Todd Golding not going after each other, but going against each other. Two minds, two guys that are looking at their players. And these are the types of games. Yes, you need your coaches on the field, but these are the games where players make plays. This is the type of moment where you as an individual player have to come up and be locked in on your assignment, not everybody else's.
I'm as excited for this game tonight as I am a Longhorn game.
Yeah.
This is going to be good football. This is going to be I think it's going to be great for Chambers. I think that this is going to be, he was on a heater last week.
Yeah.
If he can follow that up, maybe he should just go ahead and go in the draft. Because if he has another game like he did last week, I think he should just go in the draft. He'll leapfrog above Ty Simpson. He'll leapfrog above a couple of other guys. He'll be the third quarterback taken.
Really?
Yeah. If he has another game like he did last week, Hardge, you look like Superman out there.
No, we will see. I'm
gonna draft him.
Oh no.
Man, that dude got me. I'm wide open. Yeah, you got me, player. You good.
Yeah, he's definitely a special talent.
He's special.
I really enjoy watching his game and what's going on with him. And I know that the moment won't be too big for him. So that's the expectations for me as we start to look at it.
Let me ask you, would you rather him come back and prove it again in college next year, or go into the draft, end up a second or third round pick, and then go and make somebody's club and be that rookie of the year type of guy in the NFL?
I'd much rather him come back to college and play in here. I think that is the best thing for this man. Don't forget, he's made a journey to this moment.
Okay.
And again, he's making a lot of money in college. What's your rush to go to the NFL? It ain't going nowhere. It'll still be there next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. Enjoy your time. But when your time is up, you got to go. You got to go.
He have another game like he did last week.
Diego
He got to
Pavia.
go.
You do it, Diego Pavia. You got to go. Speaking of gotta go, Jerry Jones comes up
No.
next. We're gonna have this conversation. He met with the media about disappointment and see what else can happen there. Let's go right here on the morning kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app.
Got the money, whoa, we got the money, we got the money, whoa.
A new year means 9 new chances each weekday to win $1,000.
Free money.
At the beginning of the hour, get the new keyword and kick off the new year with $1,000 in your hand on 1300 The Zone.
Starting next Monday.
Now, the moment you've been waiting for. Our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Awards are coming to Fox.
Live from Los Angeles, Thursday, March 26th.
What's up, music fans? We'll honor the biggest stars from all genres of music that you loved listening to all year long on your favorite iHeartRadio station and the iHeartRadio app.
Nominees include, hi, I'm Taylor Swift.
It's Summer.
It's Rosé.
Hey, it's Morgan Wallen. This is Jacob Noel from Sublime.
It's your girl Cardi B.
I'm Benson Boone.
What's up, it's Doechii. Hey, it's Ella Langley.
This is Kendrick Lamar.
This is Sabrina Carpenter.
Bad Bunny, baby.
Hey, it's Big Extra Plug.
I'm Alex Warren.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, iHeart. Love you guys.
And this year, you helped decide winners in 11 fan-voted categories.
Thank you to the beautiful, amazing fans who have helped get this song to where it is.
See all the nominees and get your votes in now at iHeartRadio.com/awards. iHeartRadio.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeartRadio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
There's a 30-minute slowdown this morning on I-35 northbound due to a crash at Howard Lane. It has you backed up from Breaker Lane. Looking onto the service road of Mopac northbound at Highway 290, a stalled vehicle blocks off the left lane, and a stalled vehicle cleared from the interchange ramp from I-35 southbound over to 183. I'm Jason Fostick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples. It's a new year, and Staples has fresh deals to get you fully equipped for 2026, like up to $120 off HP Smart Tank printers. This deal means business, and so do these printers. Shop in store and online today. Staples, that was easy. Ends January 31st.
When Texas basketball tips off, it's time to reach for something cold and refreshing. It's light tasting, smooth finish, and perfect for every bucket, every run, and every win, because Bud Light is the official domestic beer of Texas basketball. So when you're in the mood, always reach for that ice cold Bud Light. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Please enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The road to Milan runs through St. Louis. See Ilya Malinin, Alyssa Liu, and Amber Glenn compete at the 2026 Prevagen U.S. Figure Skating Championships, January 7 through 11. Be there as the 2026 U.S. Olympic Figure Skating team is named live. Tickets at usfigureskating.org.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, makes every playoff moment feel bigger. DraftKings has your back with early exit protection. If your player in your eligible NFL prop bet goes down at any point in the first half, you still get paid in cash. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code Patrick. So code Patrick to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states, void in Ontario. Restrictions Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Longhorns basketball plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
For the kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone, and always 300 Radio. In the next second, we'll have the world's strongest man for you, his world's strongest take, and we'll finish the show with Vic Schaefer about their big matchup, which you can hear right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 tonight, as they will host the Auburn Tigers. And let's just say Vic is not messing around when it comes to this team and what the expectations are when they get out there on the basketball court tonight. We got a media availability with Vic Schaefer and Ashton Judd yesterday. And let's just say Ashton Judd is a stud, and Vic is thankful to have her on the squad. But let's get into it right now. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and Brian Schottenheimer met with the media yesterday for their final media availability as everything starts to break down. And it's interesting because these things are what we've been waiting for. Hearing from Jerry Jones, once again, it really, it's not fun anymore. It's not
I
fun
could go
anymore.
the rest of my life and not hear his voice again or hear him say anything related. People
make it through these next 11
he gives
minutes.
Stephen A. Smith a reason to celebrate and stomp on our living grave.
Yeah.
Like we're basically just dead men walking, and Jerry Jones is pouring gasoline on the grave, man.
Well,
and lighting it on fire.
Well, we're
He's
gonna
the
let you
worst.
know. We're gonna let you know how disappointed Jerry was about the season and where the Cowboys are right now.
Well, this is the first time in my life I've ever been disappointed. Most of the time, I've had more disappointments than I've had highs. And so this certainly is an example of what can happen to you in this game, football. You guys have heard me say that a lot of times. It has fleeting moments of euphoria, and then and those are made special by having hard times. Specifically, I am disappointed that we aren't in the playoffs and aren't in good shape to be in the playoffs. So that is a disappointment.
What?
What?
You're a little you're a little disappointed, huh? It's very disappointing.
You've been hanging out with Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, well, they kind of talk a little bit alike. Well, the biggest story too about the Cowboys is what's going to happen with George Pickens. Mark says, let's trade him, get him out of here. Let's try to get something for him, see what happens. But the biggest story is Jerry and the contact of how you're going to directly negotiate these contracts. Remember, he had this thing where he would talk to Micah and he thought he had a gentleman's deal, kind of like my man from Washington. He thought, the deal was signed. It was good to go. And, well, the agents weren't present. Well, the other story is Pickens' agent just happens to be David Mugheletta as well.
Oh, dear God.
So now Jerry was asked, will it be a direct contact with Pickens to negotiate?
So much of that has to do with option quarterbacking, reading the move as you take the next step. And so I wouldn't dare try to say I'll do anything relative to a business negotiation or, in this case, contract negotiation. I wouldn't dare make a comparison between any contract on the goal because it's human reaction, it's human situations, and so there won't be any comparison. Gosh, you guys know me pretty well in here. I can be as whatever you want me to be. And I can be sweet or I can be the other way too. So however we need to do it.
What in the hell is he talking about?
He's talking about negotiation with George Pickens and how this is going to go. He's not doing what he did last time. You can't fool me twice, man. I thought we had a deal, Micah. You can't, you and I.
Fool me once.
Yeah, shame on
you. You can't fool me twice.
You can't fool me again. He is not.
He sounds so scattered and all over the place.
He's 80. He's in his 80s.
But you know what, man? You can be sharp at 80. Jerry is just like aloof with this. Like you don't know where he's going, and I don't think he knows where he's going.
That's why he has a driver, Mark. Because if you don't know where he's going, he's has somebody there. You know who that driver is? His son, Stephen Jones. And Stephen Jones was asked what positions in free agency are in a need. And, of course, you got to look at the draft as well.
I think obviously linebacker. I mean, as we've mentioned, we love Overshown. I think he's a core piece of the defense. But certainly, we could use some help there at linebacker. And then I think secondary, it's always important to be able to cover the guys. And, between injuries, between Revel being a little slower getting into the mix, coming off his injury from college, he was obviously a little raw when you first get out there and you hadn't had a OTA practice or a training camp practice. And so it took him a while. So, I still think, though, we need, help in the back end. And, certainly, obviously Clowney had a great finish to the last half of the season. And, I think he's an important guy for us to add, he's free to add to the mix.
Clowney would be a good acquisition if you can get him for cheap. Because you don't want to invest a lot of money in an aging guy playing at a position where they suffer a lot of injuries already.
Did Steven just basically say we need help on defense everywhere?
Yeah, because they do. They had the absolute worst defense that you could possibly have in the NFL. And yes, he did say that because that's exactly where they are with this team. This season, Jadeveon Clowney, you were talking about Clowney and what his numbers look like. He had 24 tackles, 17 assists, 8.5 sacks, which is one of his better seasons since he's been in the NFL. He had a season with the Texans where he had 9.5, 9, and then he was with the Browns. He had 9. Ravens, he had 9.5, and the Cowboys, he had 8.5. So that is a good number for what I've seen from Jadeveon Clowney. So, yeah, you're right. If you get a good price on it and see what it looks like, that should work. I think that the Cowboys liked him. I think that he came in and provided a spark. I think that he is somebody that you didn't hear nothing bad about him. He was handling his business. So there's a lot to look at when it comes to the Cowboys, but there is a lot that needs to be made about what moves are going to be made with this team. We still don't know who our running backs are going to be. We still don't know what's going to happen because you had Javonte Williams, who I had to eat crow on that, and I was glad to do that.
He was good.
He had a great season. But you also have to look at, okay, is that going to be the end-all, be-all? He had 1,000 yards rushing, but you look at what Dak's numbers were all about. He put up big numbers again. So we'll see what happens moving forward, but it is definitely interesting. I do want to bring this up because we had the conversation the other day about what coaches are going to be making moves. John Hardball got relieved of his duties at Baltimore, which was a shock to a lot of people, and a lot of people were very upset about that. But you start to look at where he is and who he is as a coach, he will find a job quickly. He's already been reached out to by 9 teams. I didn't even know there were 9 teams that were looking for coaches at this point. How is he being looked at by all these different teams? And the question was asked by Tony Dungy yesterday by Dan Patrick. What job would you take at this time? Would you look at the New York Giants? Would you look at Baltimore, or would you take the Atlanta Falcons job? Cleveland is off the board. Raiders probably would be more than likely off the board. But if you were to be a coach in the NFL and you had your choice between the Baltimore Ravens, New York Giants, and Atlanta Falcons, which one would you take?
I would go Atlanta.
Exactly.
And I mean, they have too many really good pieces. And all you need is structure, and you need a commitment to Bijan Robinson.
Yep.
Like, hey, man, we're going to lean on you. And in the fourth quarter of games, we're not going to hand the ball to Tyler Algiers. We're going to hand you the ball.
Yeah.
That's why they got fired, because they did dumb stuff like that.
Yep. Well, coming up next, we will be talking to the world's strongest man as he brings you his world's strongest take. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeartRadio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
The right lane is blocked off by a crash going eastbound on Highway 290 at Highway 71. Looking onto the service road of Mopac northbound at Highway 290, watch out for a stalled vehicle in the left lane. And bumper-to-bumper traffic adding 15 minutes to your drive this morning on I-35 northbound going from Highway 45 over to William Cannon. I'm Jason Fossig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. The once-a-year sale and clearance is here. Upgrade today with Mattress Firm's quality selection of top brands. Let their sleep experts find the perfect bed to help transform your nights. They make sleep easy.
The playoffs start this weekend, and now you can trade on football legally in Texas on Kalshi. Right now, Pittsburgh is trading at 38% to beat Houston. That means a $100 trade pays out $264 with a win. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the odds change, you can buy in or out of your position all game long. And for a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code iHeart to get $20 when you trade 100. Kalshi, Kalshi. Trade on anything.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Here's a tale of Linda trying to lose weight, but the med prices she found were all over the place.
Hidden fees and markups made her jaw drop low. Then she found Good RX. Now she's in the know.
GLP-1 subscriptions FDA approved.
With clear upfront pricing.
And same-day pickup.
That's Good RX, the no-nonsense way. Save time and money on prescriptions.
Get to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Mostly cloudy today with a high this afternoon around 80. Cooler tomorrow and a slight chance of rain.
High tomorrow only in the mid-70s. Upper 50s for a high on Saturday.
This report is sponsored by O'Keefe's Working Hands Hand Cream.
Listen, if rubbing your hands together sounds like this, you need O'Keefe's Working Hands Hand Cream. It instantly relieves extremely dry, cracked hands. O'Keefe's, look for the green package.
News has never been so important.
We've got breaking news from Capitol Hill.
And iHeart makes it so easy to stay in the know with 24/7 news on iHeartRadio.
A major breakthrough in medical research.
Live around the clock, so you're never more than 3 minutes away from the stories that matter most.
Extreme weather is impacting millions.
24/7 news, right at your fingertips with the free iHeart app, where you can now make 24/7 news a preset for even quicker access. 24/7 news on iHeartRadio.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? When a tornado is tearing through town? Or a hurricane strikes? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. And it's not always as simple as using your cell phone. That's why now is the time to take action. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Texas women's basketball plays here.
You heard him. That's what he do. WWE Hall of Famer of the world, Mark Henry, brings you this world's strongest tank. Take it away, good fella.
Mark.
Yes.
You know what time it is? It's time for the world's strongest take by the world's strongest. Marcus. Back then they didn't know. I'm hot. They're all on me. Well, here we are again. Another world's strongest take for the people. Last night, I had the pleasure of being invited to hang out in San Antonio with my guy Vince, who, as well as go to the Spurs game. And after eating mass quantities of sushi, we went over to watch the practice and warm-ups and got to hang out with some real cool people. Got to spend some time with my son. He's home for the holidays. That was fun too. But in the process, I got to talk to Spurs executives as well as coaches and a couple of the players. And they believe, Hardge, that they can win the world championship of basketball. Their roster is very well put together. It helps to have arguably the best player in the league, at least the most versatile player in the league, in Victor Wembanyama. They are very guard heavy. Stephen Castle, Dylan Harper, Julian Shapanji, Devin Castle, De'Aaron Fox. They have so many guards. But the small forwards, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, you can kind of list him in that category. But they're lacking in the bigs. Kelly Olynyk is very long in the tooth. He's been in the league a long time. He's not getting really any minutes. Neither is Carter Bryant, their rookie power forward, who I really have high hopes for. Unbelievable talent, can hit the three. He's tough like Draymond Green. And I think they're letting him get acclimated to the NBA style of game. But nonetheless, there's a little scuttlebutt is that Jeremy Sohan is going to get traded because they want another big. My take is this. From what they said, after watching last night, Harper and Castle Fox playing, they can beat Oklahoma City, which they have beat Oklahoma City twice this season.
Yep.
Do you
in the
think
same week?
Do you think that the Spurs can win the NBA championship? I do. That is my take. I'm not picking with my fandom. I'm picking with what I see on their roster. What say you?
I do believe that. I think they have enough talent. I think they've done enough. I don't know about the trade. If anybody needs to be traded, it need to be Olynyk. I'm not a big fan of what he's done here lately. He can't stay healthy, and during the stretch run, you need to make sure that you have all hands on deck. The guard play is phenomenal, whether it's Castle, whether it's Vassell, or even Keldon Johnson coming off the bench. I mean,
Keldon Johnson was a monster last night. He could not be stopped.
Yeah, I mean, he's been able to score all season long, and he likes his role coming off the bench. I mean, a lot of times guys don't want to buy into the roles, kind of like what we talked about with Coach Miller. The understanding who you are and what you have and where you're supposed to be is just as important as you going out there and thinking you're the scorer of the team. There's nothing about you that tells you you're the scorer of the team. So when I look at Keldon Johnson and what he brings to this team off the bench, he's the part that a lot of folks don't see. You brought up those numbers from last night. Last night he had 27 points coming off the bench and was 11 of 13. He's effective, and he plays defense. That's the other part of this team. They play defense. You know, you talk about Harrison Barnes, the OG of the group, but they all buy into playing defense, and that is the biggest difference, and that is what I think is going to push them over the top.
Man, I really enjoyed myself.
Even Wemby came off the bench last night.
Yeah, and you know what? That was something that I was not expecting.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him warming up. He took some shots, but he did a lot more therapy and stabilization exercises and stuff like that. And I was like, dang, is he hurt?
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking that's like, well, maybe he won't play, even though they haven't listed as that he was going to play. And then he came off the bench, and I kind of looked at Jacob and was like, what is going on? I didn't think he was going to play because he didn't start.
Right.
And that's ego.
Well, Mitch Johnson talked about this to explain why and how special Wemby is with his team first attitude.
You know, the kid has never embraced not one thing that we've thrown at him, and it's pretty incredible. It's probably the most impressive thing I could say about him for all the expectations and things that just get discussed about him. We tell him what we're going to do, and he does it. And he's been great, and it gives us a whole different component when he comes off the bench, and that's not something that's going to be long-term, but as we build it out, it allows him, I think, to play more organic minutes where it's not putting so much pressure on the start of the game where he feels like he might have to squeeze certain types of production or performance into that stretch because he's not getting the totality of minutes he's used to.
That is why this team is special.
Yeah.
That's why they have an opportunity.
To see him sacrifice his minutes and to play a role when you're a star and not have any back talk or that's beneath me, coach. I can't do it. Like you have all those guys playing, and you know, we talked about Keldon Johnson playing great. Harper came off the bench and played like a madman too.
Yeah, he's special, man. That's why he was the first pick.
Like
their first pick.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Vassell, he will dunk on you, and it doesn't look like he could dunk on you from that angle. It's just like they have so much balance and hustle.
There it is.
That I don't think that any other team other than Oklahoma City and New York can match up with them.
Yeah, and you start looking at what the Lakers were dealing with. No LeBron last night, but you look at the numbers. When LaRavia is your second leading scorer, you got problems.
You got
problems, and it's not the good ones at all. Oh, but you got to see Bronny last night. Coming up next, we're going to close out the show and send you to Dan Patrick. We're going to hear from Vic Schaefer, though. They got a big matchup tonight, 7 p.m. tip-off that you can hear right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on that iHeartRadio app.
Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m.
We're Madison Square Garden. Well, Dick Vitale would come in. Craig, it's good to see you. How are you? It's awesome with a capital A. I think Rick Barnes has an outstanding team. I said, Dick, I appreciate the time. Thanks very much. Rick, it's great to see you. I hear Dan Schulman, who's doing the play-by-play, goes, you realize you just called Craig Rick? He goes, Craig, wait, you got to let me straighten it out. You got to give me another chance. Let me fix it.
Hang out with Craig on AM 1300 The Zone.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center. Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
The right lane is blocked off by a crash going eastbound on Highway 290 at Highway 71. Looking onto the service road of Mopac northbound at Highway 290, watch out for a stalled vehicle in the left lane. And bumper-to-bumper traffic adding 15 minutes to your drive this morning on I-35 northbound going from Highway 45 over to William Cannon. I'm Jason Fossig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International. Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
These days, it's getting harder and harder to trust what you're seeing. Who made it? Is it real? But with iHeart, everything you hear is guaranteed human. That's why 78% of listeners trust their favorite radio hosts' product recommendations. And if you own or manage a business here or need to drive sales, that trust goes a long way in creating your future customers. Make iHeartMedia a part of your 2026 plan today. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com. Again, that's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-408-4040. That's 800-408-4040.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
Peter Bogdanovich is a man of many
Peter Bogdanovich burst upon the film.
Bogdanovich is best known as the director of films like The Last.
Peter Bogdanovich helped change the way movies were made, starting with his first hit in 1971, The Last Picture Show.
Thought you might want to go to the picture show.
Yeah, might as well go.
At age 31, he became one of the hottest directors in Hollywood.
All his life, he's wanted to make movies, and he did.
His self-confidence. He knew what he wanted to do.
Now, this movie fan is a successful director.
Peter's career was kind of the ultimate triumph of the film critic, film nerd, film buff.
And he liked being in love.
Peter and I, we were the first unmarried couple on the cover of People magazine. Oh, horrors.
You have her, you have 4 pictures in a row that make
People hated them.
A guy has to learn to hate you.
But Peter's success did not last.
I made a lot of mistakes, but we're starting again now.
And just as he was on his way back up,
She fell in love with another man.
The happiest girl in the world.
Wait, Dorothy Stratton.
he suffered an unspeakable tragedy.
Playboy magazine's 1980 Playmate of the Year has been found shot to death.
And finally, the phone rings. I answered it. It was Hefner. He said 2 words. Dorothy's dead.
I'm Ben Mankiewicz, your host for The Plot Thickens, a new podcast from Turner Classic Movies. Each season, we'll bring you an in-depth story about the movies and the people who make them. Our first season, I'm still Peter Bogdanovich.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one.
Texas football plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Another great show today that was brought to you all morning long. I want to give a special shout out to Covert for Chevy in Huddle. Those folks have been great. They've been a special sponsor for Kickoff for Hardball. They do great work. There's trunk or treat, come out and see Santa. They do all the things in that Huddle community. So a very special shout out to the great folks over at Covert Ford and Chevy in Huddle. I want to get into this conversation because the Texas women's basketball team will be taking on the Auburn Tigers. Auburn comes in 11-5, 0-2 in conference play, but Texas, the number 2 ranked team, 17-0, 2-0 in conference play. That game tips off at 7 o'clock tonight. You can hear it all right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app. And of course, the voice Craig Way will be joined by Kathy Harston on the call. We got a chance to go to the game on Sunday. It wasn't the best game in the second half for the Texas Longhorns, but the first half was outstanding. But I want you to hear from Coach Vic Schaefer as he was talking about this matchup against the Auburn Tigers and the expectations against this team.
Thanks everybody for being here today. Just another day, another week, living in the SEC, and got to get ready to play a really good Auburn team. They've won 11 games for a reason. I think they're improved. I think they play really hard. I think Coach is doing a great job with them. I think this is a team that has probably the most speed and, explosiveness down the floor that I've seen in a long time. They get out and run the break. So taking care of the ball is going to be really, really important. If you turn it over, it's a layup the other way. And that's, credit to the coach and his staff. They got those kids playing so hard. They are a great defensive team, do a great job on that end. And again, they just play extremely hard. So they've been in every game that they've had. They've lost some close games. They've had a lot of close games that they won. They've got some that they've lost, but they've been in a bunch of close games. So we'll have to play really, really well. Our focus the last few days has been to fix what was broke on Sunday in the fourth quarter. And then we got to get ready to really do a great job against like I said, an explosive Auburn team. I mean, they explode down the floor, y'all. And I hope you don't get to see it, because if you do, it's bad. It means we ain't doing what we're supposed to be doing. And but they literally explode down the floor. So Yesterday wasn't a great day of practice. Today was much better. And again, we have so much room for growth and development with our own team here. And, the only way you're going to grow and develop and get better is to bring it to practice every day. And we're still learning to do that. And that's just part of it. So it's my job to get it out of them and impart to them the importance of embracing the grind, embracing the fundamentals, the boredom of the fundamentals, because that's what it takes to be great. That's what separates the good from the great, is the embracing of the boredom of the fundamentals.
All right, I wanted to bring this up because Vic was asked by our guy Danny Davis about playing in the SEC, and he says it is the gauntlet. It is the area in which college basketball should be judged because this is one of the toughest conferences out there when it comes to playing basketball. But I got a chance to ask Vic a couple questions yesterday, and one of them was about Ashton Judd, the transfer from Missouri, who's been playing some excellent basketball. And I got a chance to ask him about the special guest that he had sitting on the bench, and how do we get a chance to sit on that bench?
Well, the special guest the other day was my car dealer, so you're going to have to come hard if you're going to get on the bench and replace him. Ashton brings the confidence to the floor. Again, sees the floor well, can score the ball, can stretch you, shoot the three, but she's also really good posting. And I think she's probably our best back to the basket player, and she's not a 5 player. So, I think, again, as she gets to playing more and more, her and Taya both really will kind of hopefully show their mettle and show what they're capable of as, seniors. Justice has had some really big games for us and has rebounded the ball well offensively. But I've got to get everybody rebounding defensively. We and offensively, I was showing them today a team that, man, they just crush you on the offensive boards. And, I'm challenging our kids to do that, to crush people on the offensive board. But there's video clips I'm showing our kids. We might as well get a popcorn and a Coke, and because we're standing at the free throw line watching. And I'm like, guys, that ain't it. Especially at your position, you're supposed to be in there really rebounding. So you got a Rory Harmon who's chomping at the bit to be turned loose to go rebound. But when she's the point, I can't do that. But when Bree's the point or Bree's on the floor, I can let Rory go rebound. But then I got to get Bree to get back. She didn't get back the other day against Mississippi, and it cost us a couple buckets. So just trying to get everybody fixed. Like I said, I feel like a plumber sometimes. I get certain things fixed and then I got another leak somewhere. So just trying to get everybody fixed.
Love it. Love it.
Coach Vic is amazing,
yeah,
man.
He's hilarious. And I had to give him a hard time because I was like, how is this dude sitting on the bench? And I need to be sitting on the bench too. So I was trying to get us on the bench, and Danny Davis followed up and he was like, Vic, I don't want to sit on the bench. You walk around too much. I wouldn't be able to see the game. So I would pass on that one. But it was a good interview. These guys understand what it's about to be number 2 in the nation. There's only one team above them, so they understand it. Everybody else is below them. So they got to keep pushing and keep battling throughout the process.
Yeah, I love Coach Vic, man. I think that this team is going to gel, especially when everybody gets healthy.
Yeah.
And they're going to be hard to deal with.
Taya Sedbury is back, so she will be able to play tonight. So he's excited about that as well. I want to thank our guy, Eric Henry of Horns 247 for joining us. As always, I want to thank Mark. I want to thank Marcus. Make sure you tune in to the Craig Way Show from 2 to 5 this afternoon. And then you'll hear Craig Way on the call tonight at 7 o'clock as the Texas Longhorns host the Auburn Tigers. And just remember this, folks, we'll be better tomorrow. And don't believe everything you see because even salt looks like sugar. Have a great one. Peace.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now. You call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose?
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.